All right. Well, if this is the first time you're seeing me live, let me know. And if you've seen me live before, my dear friends, welcome back. The reality is, I haven't posted a live video in most likely a year. And I don't know if you all have been feeling it, but the energy going from 2025 to 2026 has been epically palpable for me. It's been something that's been so intense these last several months going into this next year. It's been almost like a whirlwind of recognition, of endings, of beginnings, of realizations, of clarity, of certainty. And I wanted to just invite you into the inner workings of my mind as I enter this year. I enter a new space. I enter a new place for this year and for the intentions of this year. You know, the really, really common thing that we see is the word of the year. The word of the year for me is the surface level understanding of how we are going to intend our year. For me, it's a deep thinking process that I have to go through every year to really get to the place of understanding what I want to share with the world, what I want my intention personally to be in connection with the universe, what I want my intention to be personally with how I'm growing, how I'm learning, what the universe, God, source, Mother Nature wants for me this year. And so each year I take this time at the end of the year, going into the new year, to really sit with myself, to sit with and ask, what is it that you want me to learn this year? How do you want me to change? How do you want me to shift? What do you want me to experience this year? And this time I have taken, I've actually been sick for the last 4 or 5 days going into the new year. So I've been forced to be in my house really thinking about what it is that I want to bring into this next year. What is the intention I have for this next year? And as I thought about it, I recognized it as the year of being. 2025 was the year of, one word, self trust for myself. And I recognize as you ask yourself, what is my intention for this year? What do I want to bring? It is always going to bring not only the lesson and the blessing, but the opposite of what you're asking. And I'll go into this in another live, but the self trust this year has really asked of me to also learn where I was self abandoning. And that really brings me into the year of being. And I want to invite you to this experience because being for me has been something that has been so confusing and so misunderstood. It's the post that you see where it's don't just do the thing, be who you're going to be the future self, be that person. And what is that understanding of being? What is being? How do we be? And that's something that I have been sitting with probably for the last 6 months, maybe the last year, and understanding what does it mean to be in a place of being true to yourself, being in alignment with yourself, being the fullest version of yourself, being a person that shows up in love and honesty and in integrity. What does it mean to be the person that I'm becoming, be the person that I was, be the person that I am? How do I exist in a space of being? And this is the exploration that I'm going to invite you to join me on over this next 365 days. This understanding that this year is not about the being of doing surface level things. The surface level comes along with the understanding of what being truly is, which is knowing that the being is, in essence, the truth of all that we are. The being is connected to the I am of the spiritual self, the I am that is deeply connected to your soul. I am is the spiritual essence of I am God, I am love, I am patience, I am all of those things. Whatever you say after I am is your truth. If you're I am lazy, I am broke, I am love, whatever is after I am, and the I am is connected to the soul, which is connected to the truth of your being. The year of being is not about all the things we're going to do, but how we are going to fully embody the truth of our being, how we're going to fully embody the essence. And this is not a way to be inspired. This is the most grounded place that I feel I could ever come from. A couple years ago, I was told by a seer that I needed to get into a house, this house again, and she didn't say this house specifically, but it was, I needed to get into a space that I felt safe and be able to ground into that space. And this year, I got back into the house and I felt so grounded into my existence, so grounded into who I am and who I want to be and the life that I'm creating. I got grounded into the essence, into the heart, into the soul of my being. And that's what this place is from. This isn't to inspire. This isn't to say, do more, be more, you have to change, but reflect on who is in the truth of that being. Because for me, that really comes tied along. The things that we are inspired to do, or the things that we have a desire to do in life. And even if it's the simplest example of I desire to take better care of my body. That desire is intricately wound together with your being, with your I am. It's not just the surface level of I should be eating healthier. It'd be nice to feel healthier, because the healthier version of you is the most expansive version of you. The place that you're being called in the being is the expanded capacity that you have to hold the things that are for you in this lifetime, the desires in this lifetime that you have. Each piece, each segment, each part that you're being drawn to right now is in the being of your soul. And so that's what I'm inviting you to join me on. It is on the what if from possibility. I want to be asking more what ifs this year. What if it could be better than I could imagine? What if it's possible? What if I do it? What if it actually happens? What if I meet the person? What if it goes better than I could have ever imagined? The what if. I keep asking myself that. People are like, you can't do that, or that's not going to happen, or I couldn't see that, or you can't build a business that fast. But what if I hold the potentiality for that? Because my being believes with certainty that it's possible. So if my being is connected to the I am of my soul, then it is absolutely possible. This level of self-trust that I've built, and that is also connected to the being, which I want to go deep into in another conversation, but knowing that I trust myself to listen to myself, which is the desires of my soul, to enter into that state of being, right? That I trust myself and I will follow that and I will listen, and that will be my being. And And I'm in this place also where it's not about telling anybody anymore. We've told people for years what we're going to do. We've told them, we've talked with them, we've consulted other people, we've had conversations with friends and family. We've told them this is going to be the year that I X, Y, and Z. This is going to be the moment for me. I've told, you've told, we've talked about it. I think there's a quote that says something to the effect of, don't tell them what you're going to do. Don't say what you're going to do. Just do it. This is the year of being in that, of being grounded enough to just do it. I don't need a side commentary. I don't need your approval. You don't need that from anybody. You need to know and trust your truth and go for it. Most people, anybody who gets through this whole thing or listens to this, most people's New Year's resolutions die tomorrow. That's it. Because they're not stepping into being, they're just basing it off the identity that they have now. The identity that they have now is the person that is not embodied in the being of who they are. They're not trusting their desire. They're not trusting their soul. And so whatever surface level idea of a resolution is just the tip of the iceberg of entering into that. The other part that I'm really bringing into this year, and these themes are going to show up, right? The what if from possibility, the trust, the not telling, but just acting. The last one for me is really matter of fact. This isn't the year I'm inspired. This isn't the year that I'm here to inspire, because inspiration is that. It stays in spirit. It stays in the ennui of the moment. It says, ooh, wow, I'm inspired for this. I'm inspired for that. But it doesn't take us far. This is the year of matter of fact. Matter of fact. This is the truth. It's matter of fact. I'm doing that, matter of fact. I'm not telling anybody, matter of fact. It's a matter of fact. I don't want to be in this job anymore. I'm finding something else, matter of fact. I'm not happy with my health, matter of fact. I want to build something great, matter of fact. That's what this is. That's what this is for. This is the year of being. Not saying, not just doing without the truth behind it, but finding the space for your truth of being who you know deep down in every core of your being is your truth. Because the truth is always there, even when we want to say to ourselves, I don't really know. I've spent time in that space. I've spent time before this live in that space. I don't really know if the mentoring is right for me and the coaching is right for me and personal development is the path that I'm supposed to be on. We all have our doubts. Every single person, we are all human here. We all fallible human beings that don't know the right way and don't know how to do it right and are confused. But in the quiet moments where we sit with ourselves, we know our truth every single time. So I invite you to that. I invite you to your whole truth. I invite you to have quiet conversations with yourself, with the divine, with the creator, with whatever you believe in that's bigger than you. And be honest with yourself as you go forth. To not scratch this new year with a surface level resolution, but to ask yourself, who am I being this year? Because it's not even about, and here's the nuance that's so important, it's not even about being somebody new or being somebody different. It's about being who you actually truly are. Now we can acknowledge the fact that maybe right now you're not being the person that takes the best care of your body or being the person that has started the business, but your desire in your soul is in that being, and you know it. So how do we extract one from the other? How do we say that's not your being? It's not. It's the past, the present, the future, all intertwined into right now. And right now is where it happens. Right now is where you exist from. Right now is all that we ever have. And you get to move from that space, a clearer, more defined, more grounded, matter-of-fact space. So as I keep returning here live and keep bringing more information, I invite you in. I invite you to join me. I invite you to comment. I invite you to share what you hear, what you learn, what you know, what your being is, what your truth is in your I am. Much love. Happy New Year's. This will be the best year ever.